Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. So in the course of Wizards of the Coast releasing sets, you also see a number of supplemental products beyond, the booster packs and the intro decks. Now some of these supplemental products, it'll be interesting to see whether they get released every set or just for the first of the two set blocks. So with Kaladesh, we're seeing a return to the booster battle pack. I think actually these were, I'm trying to remember if these were also released in the Shadows over Innistrad block or not. I know there was a time when they weren't available because as a product they've been around for quite a while, and then they sort of went away and then they came back. And with some of this supplemental product also, you'll see that sometimes it's released sometime after the release date, so they sort of stagger this. Another thing to watch out for, if you're not already aware of it, is that they release a thing called the gift box, which historically was always released around Christmas time, when the large set came out and we had the 3 set blocks. So that sort of started with Return to Ravnica, and then going forward there was one for Theros and Khans of Tarkir. Well, now with the 2 set blocks, where you get 2 large sets a year, what we're seeing is we actually did see one for Shadows over Innistrad, and then now we're seeing one again. So you sort of get one around going into summer, and then another one going into the Christmas period in terms of the gift box. So with the booster battle packs, it'd be interesting to see what they do, whether we get ones with the next set or not. So this is a so-called 2-player game. I look at this as a sort of gateway product into drafting, basically. So on the back here it says, match wits with a friend at the Inventors Fair, where the greatest minds on Kaladesh showcase their creations and compete for the grand prize. Choose one of the included decks, customize it with additional cards from a booster pack, and battle your friends, all within minutes of opening the box. So you get 2 single coloured 30 card Magic decks. So in the past with booster battle packs, we've seen sometimes there's been 2 colour ones. Again, it depends on the set they're coming from, but you always get 2 booster packs for the set, 1 each basically. And the idea, once we open this, you'll see, but you sort of take a certain amount of cards from that booster pack and you use it to supplement the 30 card deck, and then you basically play. Now the thing about this is, obviously with a single card Magic deck, it'd be interesting to see what sort of choice you've got within a pack. If you've got 15 cards in a pack and they were totally random, if we just take the commons as an example, because there's 10 commons in a pack, so there's a possibility there that you're going to have 2 of each colour, but then of course you've got things like artifacts, and then there's 3 uncommons, and there's 1 rarity, one rare or mythic. So within the different slots, the colour makeup is going to be very variable. So it'd just be interesting to see how this all sort of shakes down when we open these up. So let's do that now. And here we go. So they've integrated the how to play into the actual packaging. Step 1, unwrap the decks and decide which player gets which deck. Step 2, each player opens a booster pack and chooses up to 5 cards of their deck's colour to add to their deck. And that's the bit that's going to be interesting. And shuffle up and play. Now I suppose this set does have a number of artifacts in it, so that may not be such a problem. But we will see. Okay. So all Magic products pretty much include this quick reference guide. On this video I'm just assuming that you've never really seen much Magic product before. So it has a setup, how to win parts of the turn, and then it goes through the various phases, which is obviously really important when you're playing Magic. And a bit about casting spells. Now again, remember, different formats have a different amount of cards in a deck. So for instance, if you were playing Constructed, you would be talking about a 60 card deck. In Limited, that's draft and sealed, you're generally building 40 card decks. There was a format for a while online which used 30 cards, 4 packs of boosters to build a 30 card deck. It's now no longer available on Magic the Gathering Online. So with this one, because it's a casual format, we're not really, the overall deck size is going to be variable. We're starting with 30 cards, but then we're adding a certain amount to this. Now in Magic, generally the smaller deck size is better because you get less variance by doing that. Anyway, so let's actually open these up. What it looks like we've actually got in these decks, and I'm going to be curious once we open this, is straight away I see they've got this, there was a subset that was released around the same time as the old-fashioned core set would be released, I believe, in that sort of window, if you like. So what you've got is these, things effectively which would be instead of a core set that would cover 2016 going into 2017, and these were available in the toolkit and a few other products. I think if you were lucky enough to get hold of the equivalent of a starter deck, they're decks that get given out by stores to newer players, and they also had these cards in them, and you can see here they've got the special logo with the sort of starburst and then the year number on there. So I'm assuming going forward they're going to put a number of sort of core on colour cards, if you like, in these to just some way alleviate, I suppose, some of the problems by not having a core set in relation to newer players. But again, it's difficult to know because stuff gets changed so much. We've recently seen the moving back to a larger rotation period on sets than what was originally proposed with the two set blocks. So who knows what's going to happen next. Anyway, let's open these up and see if all of these cards are from that sort of core subset. So it looks like we've got white versus black here. Let's zoom this in. Okay, we've got Aegis Angel, which is a rare. It's 4/2 white for a 5/5 with flying. When Aegis Angel enters the battlefield, another target permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Aegis Angel. Silver Strike. So this one is from the Shadows over Innistrad block. 3 and a white, destroy target attacking creature, you gain 3 life. Alpha Protector from the Battle for Zendikar block. Devilthorn Fox. So you can see as we go through the set symbols here are probably going to flip-flop between Shadows over Innistrad and the ones we've seen, that particular block. So that's Shadows over Innistrad. And the set after it, whose name escapes me, and then the Battle for Zendikar block as well. 2 sets from that block. Mighty Leap, Devilthorn Fox, and then we've got the Plains, Ethereal Guidance, Gideon's Reproach, some more Plains, Marked by Honour, again from this subset. The Plains, Angel of Renewal, that's an uncommon. Courier Griffin, another Plains, Blighted Step, another Plains, and you can see the artwork here from the Shadows over Innistrad. It's just come back to me, the second set of the block with Eldritch Moon for that one, and in the Battle for Zendikar block it was, I think, Oath of the Gatewatch. So Inspiring Captain, and then Mighty Leap, and then more Plains. Cliffside Lookout, Smite the Monstrous is in this deck. Seera Angel, again from that special subset, and some Plains, and Makindi Aeronaut. Okay, so I think you can see here this particular deck seems to care about flying. We've also got the ability to give other creatures we control +1/+1 until end of turn. There's an ability on Cliffside Lookout. So we've got flying and the ability to buff our creatures up. Bit of life gain there. So there's also life gain in here. I think what they try and do with these, you know, I suppose entry level mini decks is give you a flavour of things that are typical for the particular colour. And creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. It's a vanilla 3/1. Vigilance, another thing you see in white. And some more life gain. So I hope you know, if you're new to the game, that will give you some idea of you know, things that white does. So we'll do the same here. We'll just go through the cards relatively slowly so you can see them, and then we'll have a look in overview again at this deck. So Nightmare, it's 5 and a black, star creature, Nightmare horse with flying. Nightmare's power and toughness are each equal to the number of swans you control. Vampire Envoy. So again, I suspect to see here, we're going to see some cards from that core subset, some from the Shadows over Innistrad stroke Eldritch Moon set, and some from the Battle for Zendikar Oath of the Gatewatch sets. And some swamps, another Vampire Noble, Zulaport Cutthroat, so again our artwork is from the Shadows over Innistrad block. Untamed Hunger is in here. It's interesting how, you know, there are some similarities between white and black on certain things, and again when we look at this we'll see what those might be. Black likes to destroy stuff. White often likes to exile stuff or destroy attacking creatures. Sengir Vampire's in here, another a creature with flying. Demon's Grasp. Walking Corpse. Dead Weight. Rotten Heart Ghoul. Another swamp, tar snare, blighted fen. So this is the black version of the one we saw in white. Mind rot. Dutiful return. Walking corpses in here. Demon's grasp, another one. Hagra sharpshooter. So you can sort of see the similarities here with these cards, where you know, in white, what you see in black by contrast is often almost like the reverse. So we're seeing abilities on creatures here which, instead of buffing a creature, will make it do the opposite. You give it -1/-1 until end of turn. Or spells that you know, do things like this, where it's -5/-5. Instead of buffing the creature again, you're depleting its power and toughness in some way. So you know, this is a way of removing a creature. And we've got a vanilla, you know, returning from the graveyard. Very much a thing that people associate with black in Magic. What's called, you know, reanimation. You know, discard, card discard, another thing that you see in black. Sacking creatures, or either forcing an opponent to sacrifice a creature, or using creature sacrifice as a resource for a player to do something like maybe card draw. There's another card. This one gives a creature -3/-2. When Rotten Heart Ghoul dies, target player discards a card. So the interesting one here, on the creature dying, it triggers card discard. So something very much that you would associate with black in Magic. Dead Weight, an enchantment that gives -2/-2. There are enchantments in black that also do pump creatures, like do buff them. Counters is something you see in black. It's not exclusive to black, but again, sacrificing a creature in order to destroy a creature. So using your creatures as a resource. Yeah, here's one with where it does buff it. Untamed Hunger, +2/+1, and also Menace. Can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. There's our swamps. Life gain. Again, something that you see both in black and white. In this one, when Zilipot Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yep, black will do life gain, as you can see with Vampire Envoy. And then Nightmare, where its power and toughness is based on the amount of swamps you control. Again, a thing that you often see in black. See it in other colours as well, where some ability is tied in with the amount of a particular type of land that you control. So let's have a look at the packs here. I often with this one whether it would be better to change the rules, and again we'll see what we get, where you know, you effectively with monocolour decks, you're not going to be choosing the same cards necessarily, except for the artifacts and colourless stuff. So maybe it would be a thing where, you know, someone opens a 1 pack and they choose the cards they want, and then the other person opens the other pack, they choose those cards, and then you swap the remaining cards between you. That might be a better way to do it. Anyway, we'll see what we get. So going through here, we've got Videlcan Blade Master, Terror of the Fairground, so nothing. So if this was, we'd open this against the white deck, this is a card we could use. Thriving Ibex, 3 and a white, 2/4. When Thriving Ibex enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. When thriving ibex attacks, you may pay 2 energy counters. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it. One thing we're going to see here, or not see, I suppose, as the case may be, is the synergies are going to be really out of whack, because what we're doing is we're opening one set and adding it to a deck which contains cards from totally different sets. So our synergies aren't always going to necessarily work well together. This is adding +1/+1 counters on our creature. Now I'm just going through. We did see buffing in the deck. We didn't see necessarily counters, I don't think, but there's no counter manipulation anyway to exploit any of that, so it probably doesn't make an awful lot of difference. So no, we have no way of moving counters around. But again, with something like this sort of card, that's always a good synergy to look out for. Is I've got counters on one creature. Is there any way I can move these around? We don't have energy in the main deck, so again, there's no actual synergy with other cards for that. Select for inspection. Actually, I'll put these out to one side. That's in blue. Kujar Seed Sculptor. Now we do have a Thriving Rats in this one, which would go in the black deck. I'm just going to go through it. Although this is the pack we've given to the white player, it'd be good to see what we've got here. Another card with energy on it. So it's 1 and a black, 1/2. When Thriving Rats enter the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. Whenever Thriving Rats attacks, you may pay 2 energy counters. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's a part that the thriving creatures are part of a cycle in this particular in Kaladesh. Pima Outrider, Wood Weaver's Puzzle. It's more at home in green, obviously, because that's a green activation cost. Foundry Screecher. This is a black card, so we'll look at it. 2 and a black for 2/1 flying. Foundry Screecher gets +1/+0 as long as you control an artifact. Even if we open this pack as a black player, currently we don't have any artifacts, but we'll put that to one side just so we can go back through that. Accomplished Automaton, 7 colours for a 5/7 with Fabricate 1. When this creature enters the battlefield, plus a +1/+1 counter on it, or create a 1/1 colourless servo artifact creature token. Put that in our pile. That could be played in any deck. Oval Chase Dragster, 4 colourless 6/1 with Trample, Haste and a crew of 1. So tap any number of creatures you control with power 1 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Refurbish, 3 and a white, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Might make more sense as we have more artifacts in a deck, but they've all got to come from these boosters. Girapur Guide. Botanical Sanctum is our rare, so it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. Tap, add green or blue to your mana pool. So this is interesting. If we'd have opened this pack as, say, the white player, it does now give us access to green and blue, which means we could play some of the green and blue cards in here. It would have to be, it couldn't be anything with, say, a double colour, and also statistically the ability to cast that could be pretty slim if we're playing just a single on colour land in our pack. We have a mountain. Again, we could add this to our deck, so that's another possibility. We're going to get lands in our packs which would open us up to other colours, and we've got a servo token because you saw there was one there. So yeah, so the land will allow us to maybe splash another colour, but we'd have to be very careful about whether we would want to do that. So that's what we pulled just as the decks are, in terms of what we would have that we could play in either the white or the black deck. So let's move on to our other pack. You're looking for sort of white or black cards. High Tide Hermit, Built to Smash, Fragmentize. So single white sorcery, destroy target artifact or enchantment when converted mana cost with converted mana cost 4 or less. Wouldn't be much good in a deck if your opponent wasn't actually playing any artifacts or enchantments, but seeing as that's on colour, we'll put it to one side. Wily Bander, Subtle Strike, 1 and all black, choose one or both. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Fire Forges Puzzle Knot. It's a puzzle knot, but the activation cost is in red. Curio Vendor, Chandra's Pyrohelix, Cogworker's Puzzle Knot. So this is a puzzle knot where the activation cost is a white one, so we'll take a look at this. 2 colourless, when Cogworker's Puzzle Knot enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colourless server artifact creature token. 1 and a white, sacrifice Cogworker's Puzzle Knot, create a 1/1 colourless server artifact creature token. Renegade Freighter, 3 for a 4/3. Whenever Renegade Freighter attacks, it gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. And Crew for 2. That one. Furious Reprisal, Durable Handicraft, Perpetual Timepiece, so another artifact which could be played in either. 2 generic mana, and tap, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. For 2 colourless, for 2 generic mana, exile Perpetual Timepiece, shuffle any number of target cards from your graveyard into your library. I don't know quite why you would want to be milling yourself, but never mind, not in either of these decks. Captured by the Consulate, so this is our rare, and it's on colour. 3 and a white for Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature you don't control. Enchanted creature can't attack. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it has a single target, change the target to enchanted creature if able. And we've got a forest here, so again that opens up the possibility of splashing green. And we have an emblem here for Nissa. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card, so that would only go with the Planeswalker that's in the set. So just back through some of this, see what we had. So some of these, by their very nature, although they're on colour, wouldn't necessarily afford as much utility in either of the decks. But it just gives you some idea of potentially what you could play. Again, if we're talking about picking a land from our stack, and this one we had the forest, then Durable Handicraft would be castable, although again the probability of that happening would be fairly low. And in this one that would be, oh hang on, there's another one there, was it? Yeah, Wily Bander there. Okay, so there we have it. That's sort of quite an in-depth breakdown of the booster battle pack for the Kaladesh set. I thought that was worth going through in detail for basically the benefit of the newer players out there who maybe aren't familiar with this product at all. So just in summary, in our particular kit, and the 2 choice of decks is going to change obviously. I'm assuming, well, between the 5 colours. So we had white and black, and then we had 2 booster packs. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.